You know how things feel a little different lately, right? There's this sense that something bigger is being built behind the scenes, and even when everything looks quiet on the surface, you can tell there's a plan unfolding. It's like every move, every decision is being made with a clear vision in mind. And if you've been following closely, you can feel that this team isn't just thinking about now, it's setting itself up for something much bigger. Howie Roseman is doing it again. And if you're paying close attention, you already know this isn't luck. This is strategy at the highest level. Be sure to click the like button and subscribe to stay informed. Go Eagles! Now let's get straight into what's really happening. The first thing that jumps out immediately is how the Eagles approached free agency. And this is where Howie Roseman started separating himself from the rest of the league once again. While teams like the Raiders and Titans came out aggressively, throwing nearly $300 million on day one of free agency, the Eagles stayed quiet. And for some fans, that might have felt uncomfortable at first, but if you understand how winning organizations operate, you knew exactly what was going on. Howie waited. He allowed the market to explode. He let desperate teams overpay. He let contracts get inflated. And only after that did he step in to strike with precision. That patience is not accidental. It's calculated. Because, historically, the teams that spend the most in free agency rarely end up holding the Lombardi Trophy. The real contenders build through drafting and development, something the Eagles have consistently done over the years, following the blueprint of dynasties like the Patriots and Chiefs. And then came one of the clearest examples of this strategy in action: the addition of Riq Woolen. This is where things get really interesting. Woolen is not just another corner. He's a player with elite physical traits, proven production, and Pro Bowl-level performance in his career. We're talking about a guy who has recorded double-digit pass breakups every single season and has already shown he can compete at a high level in this league. The Eagles had a clear need at outside corner opposite Quinyon Mitchell, and instead of overpaying early, they waited and secured Woolen on a one-year deal worth up to $15 million with a cap hit of just $3.4 million. Think about that for a second. Other players at the position were getting significantly more money on longer deals. Alontae Taylor, for example, landed $20 million per year. And yet, the Eagles may have landed the better player at a fraction of the immediate cost. That's not just a good move. That's elite roster construction. And it doesn't stop there. Another layer to this entire operation is how Howie Roseman has manipulated the salary cap. When free agency began, the Eagles had about $12.5 million in cap space. Fast forward, and they've created roughly $40 million, placing them in a strong position compared to the rest of the league. That kind of flexibility doesn't happen by accident. It comes from restructuring deals, extending players strategically, and understanding timing better than anyone else. The Eagles opened up space through moves like the Jordan Davis extension, adjustments to Landon Dickerson's contract, and renegotiations across the roster. They even managed the Dallas Goedert situation in a way that avoided a massive $20 million dead cap hit, while keeping him on a team-friendly one-year deal worth $7 million. This is what separates good general managers from elite ones. Anyone can spend money. Not everyone can control when, where, and how that money is used while still preparing for the future. And speaking of the future, the Eagles are already projected to have massive cap space in the coming years, including over $80 million in 2027 and more than $100 million in 2028. That means this isn't just about 2026. This is a long-term plan unfolding right in front of us. Now, let's talk about value, because this might be the most underrated part of everything happening right now. The Eagles didn't just add players, they added the right players at the right price. Dallas Goedert on a $7 million deal. Hollywood Brown on a one-year deal worth up to $6.5 million, giving the offense a much-needed vertical threat alongside A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith. Arnold Ebiketie, coming in with a manageable contract that could turn into a massive steal if he produces between 7 to 10 sacks. Every move has purpose. Every contract has flexibility. Every addition fills a gap without crippling the team financially. And then there's the most delicate situation of all. A.J. Brown. Behind the scenes, things have been far more complex than many fans realize. The Eagles have been receiving trade calls. There's been noise, speculation, and pressure. But through all of it, Howie Roseman has stood firm on his asking price, a first-round pick and a second-round pick. And based on the current market, that valuation is not only justified, it's accurate. We've seen players like Tyreek Hill and Davante Adams command similar returns. Even lesser players have been moved for significant draft capital. So the Eagles refusing to settle for less is a statement. It shows discipline, it shows confidence, and maybe most importantly, it shows control. What's even more impressive is how quietly this entire situation has been handled. No public drama, no distractions, no loss of leverage. That's not luck. That's elite organizational management from top to bottom. And when you put all of this together, the patience in free agency, the cap manipulation, the value contracts, and the control over high-pressure situations, it paints a very clear picture. The Eagles are not reacting to the market. They are shaping it. So now I want to hear from you, because this is where it gets really interesting. Do you believe Howie Roseman is building a roster that can take the Eagles back to the Super Bowl? Or is there still one major move missing for this team to truly dominate in 2026? And when you step back and look at everything that's happening right now, it becomes impossible to ignore the bigger picture. This isn't just about a few smart moves here and there. This is about building a complete structure. A team that's not only competitive in the present, but prepared to dominate in the future. Every decision we talked about, from patience in the market to calculated contracts and controlled situations behind the scenes, all of it connects to one single goal: putting this franchise back where it belongs. Because let's be real for a moment, this fan base doesn't settle. You don't watch every game, you don't live every play, just to be good enough. The expectation here has always been higher. It's about competing for championships, about walking into every season believing that this team has what it takes to go all the way. And based on everything we're seeing right now, there's a very strong argument that the foundation for that run is already being built. What stands out the most is the balance. Usually teams lean too heavily in one direction. They either spend aggressively and sacrifice the future, or they play it too safe and miss their window. But here, what we're witnessing is a front office threading that needle perfectly. Improving the roster without overpaying, creating flexibility without weakening the core, staying competitive now while stacking opportunities for the years ahead. And that's where things start to get really exciting. Because when you combine smart roster construction with financial flexibility, you give yourself options. And in the NFL, options are everything. It means that if a big opportunity shows up, you're ready. If a key player becomes available, you can make a move. If you need to adjust mid-season for a playoff push, you have the resources to do it. That's how elite teams operate, and that's exactly what is being built here step by step. At the same time, there's still that feeling that something else could happen. Maybe another move. Maybe a surprise decision. Maybe a situation that no one sees coming right now. And that's what makes this moment even more intriguing, because when you have leadership that has already shown this level of control and creativity, you can't rule anything out. So as a fan, this is the moment where you stay locked in. You pay attention to every update, every rumor, every shift in direction, because all of it matters. This is where seasons are shaped. This is where contenders separate themselves from the rest of the league. And if everything continues on this path, there's a real chance that we're watching the early stages of something special coming together. Now, I want you to do something important. If you made it all the way to this point, go ahead and hit that like button because it really helps the channel grow and reach more Eagles fans just like you. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss anything, because the latest updates, the real inside breakdowns, and everything happening with this team in real time, you're going to find it right here first. And don't forget to click on the video that's on your screen right now, because that's where we go even deeper into everything surrounding this team and what could be coming next. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's about to unfold. Go Eagles!